Okay, the button's been hit. It says we are live. So, hello.
Hello.
Hello. God, you people are slow. You never make good stooges. Yeah. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, come on, with the program. Anyway, welcome to This Week Unloaded. I think that's what this is, right? Anyway, tonight so far we have with us first was Mrs. Stacy Nelson, otherwise known as Mystic Guns. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad for once. And next we had Jason Stewart jump in. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
No problem. And finally we have the kingpin of crime himself, David Bulling. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, no problem. And some point tonight we should be joined again by Pat Hirsch. He was here earlier, but he had to jump out because he had to go take care of the kids while his wife ran to town. So, but he said he would be back before the show ended. So somewhere along the line, we should have him back as well. So, first thing I want to talk about is something that happened in David's state in the county right across the Potomac River from where I live. Allegheny County, Maryland, has declared itself a Second Amendment sanctuary, which is interesting coming out of Maryland. Any other counties in Maryland declared themselves a sanctuary county? There, 2A sanctuary keeping.
Yeah, Carroll County. I'm not 100% sure on Frederick County, but then there's Dorchester County and I believe Calvert County. Um, there, most of the most of the counties in the very middle are not, and then your East Coast counties and your Western Mountain counties are pretty cool.
Yeah, I know the western counties. They've all multiple times have tried splitting off from Maryland, either form their own state or become part of West Virginia.
Yeah, if you take Howard County, Montgomery County, Baltimore County, and I mean, really, that's really it. And well, Dorchester County, I think that's the county Annapolis is in. I can't remember. And get rid of those, then we're a pretty solid state. But it's just the center right there. And Baltimore County is pretty big, and Baltimore City's big news, so that affects a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you go Western Maryland, the hills and stuff, man. They're beautiful country there. You get
Yeah,
some
pretty
really
much.
nice views.
I live right on the border of Baltimore County and Howard County, so everything west from where I live is pretty awesome. Everything east from where I live, until you get basically across the Bay Bridge, is trouble problematic.
Yeah, like when you drive up Route 220 from where I live up towards Cumberland, all you see that entire road flat during the elections is signs for Republicans. You don't see any Democrat signs in this area in Maryland. It's crazy because everybody thinks Maryland's full of Democrats and it's a leftist state. That's only like the Baltimore to DC corridor. And you get outside that area, you get into Western Maryland and extreme Eastern Maryland in parts, and it's not like what that central corridor is. Like you were saying, it really people got a big misunderstanding about Maryland, but it's that the big city in the state controls it, and that's basically what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, with taxes and regulations and stuff like that, we've always been pretty ridiculous on, but uh, as far as firearms, it's from 2013 on to now is when Maryland became like California East. But until maybe 2017, about when they passed the red flag law here, Maryland was ranked like one of the better anti-gun states. New York, New Jersey, California, Connecticut, all those places are way worse than Maryland until recently.
You know, that's mostly because of Baltimore and right around the DC area. It's crazy because you get the same. That's where most of the problem that they're seeing in Virginia comes from is right around the DC area. It's sad what one city, or in the case of Maryland, two cities can do to an entire state. Because I say two cities for Maryland because of DC and Baltimore. That whole area between there. I mean, it's
Well, if you want to be really, really technical, Washington D.C. is in Maryland because when they annexed the diamond shape or whatever they wanted to call it for the portion that's in Maryland and the portion that's in Virginia, that became Washington. Once they seceded, the portion that was in Virginia went away. So the portion that's left in Maryland is what's currently Washington D.C. So technically, we're guilty for Washington as well.
I guess we're the only two that would have perspective on that because you live there and I live on the state that borders there. Because Jason and Stacy really haven't said anything. So I guess we're the only two that have perspective on that. So, but what about Ohio? Any states declared? I mean, yeah, any states in Ohio? Because Ohio's a country now, not a state. Uh, Jason, any counties in Ohio declare themselves sanctuary?
Sadly, I'm not up to date on that around here. I know we have some counties that are, but really, there's not a whole lot going on anti-gun around here. I mean, they propose some stuff, but everything that gets proposed just kind of in the news one day, gone the next.
What about Oklahoma, Stacy? Any counties declare themselves sanctuary that you know of?
According to Snob, there's several.
Well, he was out there in the chat. Why didn't he jump in here and tell us? God dang it. But
He's currently
anyway,
busy.
interestingly enough, I mean, you all know I live in one of the most gun-friendly states in the country, right? The county I live in has declared themselves a Second Amendment sanctuary. Which this state we really don't need that, but the county I live in's done it anyway. I guess they're preparing in case something were to change. Yeah. It's the only county I know of in West Virginia that's declared itself a 2A sanctuary. But, yeah. So we've got all kinds of counties in Maryland that have. None in Ohio and maybe some in Oklahoma, but since Snob's not in here to tell us, Weston Probst says that 20 or so counties so far in Oklahoma have.
Yeah, I think the county that Budget lives in is a sanctuary county, but
Okay, so that would
I
be
haven't
at
heard
least
about
one.
too many.
So there will be at least one in Ohio. Then.
Yeah, I know the county that I live in would probably not become one, or they would be one of the last to turn. Not that we're super democratic. It's just that I think our sheriff doesn't want to ruffle feathers or get involved.
Ozzy out there, he says the same way in Illinois. You discount Chicago, Illinois is 95% red. Yeah, I've
If
heard
you
that multiple times from different people.
if you take Guns and Gadgets for his word, which is pretty accurate, I mean, I'd give him a pretty high rating for his accuracy. He says there's legislation or a bill moving around in Michigan to make Michigan a sanctuary state. And apparently it has a lot of steam behind it, too.
Yeah, Weston Probst said there's basically the same thing going around in Oklahoma right now where they're trying to get a joint Senate resolution 16 that would make the whole state there sanctuaries by law. Yeah, I don't know how it works out there in Oklahoma, but here, if the county passes something, it's law in that county. So, yeah, the sanctuary being a sanctuary to a Second Amendment sanctuary for Mineral County, West Virginia, is Mineral County law. That is the law in the county. Now, what about you? Where you live, do the counties get to pass things like that that are actually have the rule of law, or are they just like resolutions that say the county wants something, but when it comes to actually meaning anything, it means nothing?
Well, most of them are just resolutions because it, the sheriffs are generally the people out front when it comes to the sanctuary county stuff, but really it has to go through a representative first. A representative has to put it up for a proposal or whatever, and in their House or Senate seat, or I don't know exactly how it works, and then it's just kind of adopted. So most of them are just the faith of the word that, hey, we're not going to prosecute you, we're giving you our word. But if you've got a situation where it's backed up by actual law, then that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Here, they pass the counties pass resolution, and it goes to court. The county courts or the circuit court, the state circuit court has to look at the laws that were passed by the county, which is why when you look at West Virginia's preemption law, it doesn't state just municipalities; it also states counties because the counties can't pass anti-gun legislation either.
Well, what you want to also be careful in is, West Virginia and Maryland obviously are very different. If you propose a sanctuary bill in Maryland and it's got to go through, Maryland State Senate and judiciary boards, it's going to get crushed. So if you just propose the idea, then it doesn't have to leave anywhere because there's no, you can debate it all you want. All it is a suggestion, basically.
Yeah,
Where in West Virginia, you've got, a government full of people who are ready to pass, good bills.
yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, it's the county commissioners here can pass laws that hold the same, they're just hold the same kind of power as what a municipality's law would be. Because there's counties here that don't have any um, incorporated towns in them. So when the county commissioners, they might have one incorporated town that would be like the county seat, and then the rest of the county is all rural. So when the county commissioners pass a law, it holds the power, same power as what if the municipality would have passed it. You know what I'm saying? That's why
All,
they.
all, all in all, a sanctuary county is, or state or any of that, should just be temporary.
Yeah.
Because the only thing it needs to really be is, hey, you've got a safety blanket until the next election comes around. And once the next election comes around, you get these bad people out and put some decent people in, and then we can make legislation protecting this stuff. Kind of like what Michigan's supposedly doing right now is, trying to put legislation together to protect. They're not just saying, hey, we're going to be a sanctuary state. They're writing legislation to say, hey, this is going to be a free state for firearms.
I'd like to see something like that work out in Michigan, uh, and hopefully Ohio could follow their lead. And then maybe Indiana and Pennsylvania.
And Vanessa's asking, so how do these resolutions help the matter? The people voted into office are the lawmakers. Once they pass anti-gun laws, all these resolutions are not worth anything. Well, the way it works in West Virginia, the county commissioners are voted into office. They're basically you vote in your county commissioners like you would any other representative. Get that picture off of there. First, we ain't talking about him, and we ain't talking about the coronavirus.
Well
Click the
played,
vote.
young lady. Well played.
But so again, here laws passed by the county, they're not just resolutions. They actually have the power of law because here in this state, because of all the rural counties and everything, the county commissioners they pass laws. They don't just pass resolutions. They actually pass law in this state. So I don't know how it works in every state. I know in Pennsylvania they did when I lived there. The commissioners didn't what they would put in for resolution stuff that necessarily hold the power of law, but here they do. So yeah, here the resolution it's not just resolution; it's an actual law in the county. So, but it's basically one of the things that it does is it sends a message. If you think in certain ways that you know what, we're not going to put up with this anymore. So, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You be the judge. To steal Paul Harrellism, you be the judge.
Well, it's almost like we just need to have, just a complete and total ballot initiative, either Second Amendment or no. And I'm not. This is just theoretically thinking, and just put it out there because Vanessa was making a good point. Whether you got a constitutional carry or not, when you cross into the border of New Jersey and you got hollow points, you're still going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to protect the hollow points as well as the binary triggers, as well as the bump stocks, as well as the, Indiglo sites and the Trigicons and the blah 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 blah. Because just saying can't touch my gun. Okay, fine. We'll just make ammo illegal.
Yeah, but that would have to be on the national, and they ain't going to do anything like that anytime soon. But mostly you'll get maybe a state here or there doing it. I
Well,
can see
no. I was just
California.
making the point that
Yeah, I
if they
know.
can't go after the main tool, they'll go after the screws that go in the handguard.
Yeah, but she said constitutional carry laws will help that, but not if they take the ammo away. If they take, for them to take ammo away in West Virginia, they would have to pass a national law. The legislature here in West Virginia isn't going to do that. So how's that? That's not going to hurt our constitutional carry law because they're not going to do that here. So I mean, I can see her point, but unless they do it nationally, constitutional carry states, they're not going to pass those kind of laws. They would get rid of constitutional carry before they started banning ammo and everything. Anybody else have anything they want to add?
I'm not very good at math.
I got nothing.
No, and she's still talking about how making a resolution saying you will not be law abiding will be used against you soon after. That's just it. It's if you talk about it here, if we're talking just West Virginia, I don't know how things work in the other states. And anything that comes out of the county commissioner's office, it's not just a resolution. It counts as a law, just as if a city would have passed it. So it's not just resolutions here. You actually, when the counties do something, it's an actual law. Well, and I don't know what to tell you about Connecticut, Vanessa. I don't live there. I mean, I can't. I mean, that's just how it is. I don't know what the law. I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard on you guys. I get it.
Yeah, that's a lot of tax right there.
Yeah.
So what? It's probably illegal there to buy ammo out of state too.
I don't think they've got that in Connecticut yet. I know California, as far as I know, is the only one that's done that kind of nonsense. But there are ammo companies that won't ship to certain states, and Connecticut might be on that list. Where if you go like say SG Ammo, they may not ship to Connecticut. I don't know. But I don't think they actually have it as a law there yet. I know they said I think California's the only one that's made those kind of laws. No, those kind of things are not being pushed in every state. West Virginia, there's nobody pushing that kind of thing in West Virginia, Vanessa. So, I mean, your state, yeah, I know they're pushing that stuff in your state and stuff, but here they're not. They're doing the opposite in this state. I feel bad for you guys that live in those states, but You know, they're not doing it here.
Yeah, we almost got constitutional carry here last year. It went as far or farther than any of the other proposals have went for years, and we've tried 5 or 6 different years here lately, and it got really close last year.
Yeah, she says you can buy ammo and long guns out of state, but you have to have an ammo permit or a carry permit to buy ammo.
Ammo permit.
Yeah,
Huh.
ammo permit.
So it's like
Those are a couple of states. That's not every state. Like it's Vanessa. Like I said, here they aren't pushing any anti-gun bills. Last time they tried was a bump stock ban, and the guy that proposed it got booed off the floor of the House. Here, I mean, every bill that's been proposed here is a pro-gun bill. They got one now that's in the Senate waiting to be voted on. It's already passed the House to lower the cost of the carry permit in West Virginia from $75 to $25. And if you're a military veteran, you don't have to pay at all for your permit if this bill goes through. So, and we got constitutional carry. The only reason why people in this state get permits is for the reciprocity with other states. So, I mean, not all states have anti-gun legislation being proposed. I know a lot. There's a handful that do. There's a few of them that have already done things. But in this I know for a fact. I mostly can tell you what's going on in West Virginia because I don't live in the other states. And here, there is nothing on the docket in either the House or the Senate here that would be construed as an anti-gun bill. And if there is, it's not one that's going to have any chance of passing. No, we have Democrats in our House and Senate, and they're not pushing the Democrats in this state are not calling for gun control. The Democrats in every state aren't doing it. It's certain states. Not every state has Democrats pushing gun control. When the guy proposed the bump stock ban on the House floor in West Virginia's state house, he was booed by both Republicans and Democrats.
Do you got Bloomberg commercials right now, Rich?
On TV, on certain channels, because we get our TV, a lot of our TV channels come from, if not most of our, come out of the DC market.
Oh, we have them on the radio quite a bit here.
Yeah, I haven't heard a commercial on the radio for them. But TV, we get, like I said, most of our television channels come out of the DC market. There's like 2 or 3 that might come out of the Hagerstown, Maryland market, but most of them come out of DC. We get one Pittsburgh channel. Well, no, we get 2 Pittsburgh channels.
He gets my blood boiling when he comes on the radio here. He's got one commercial where he says, as Americans, we all need to rise and fall together. And I always scream at the radio, it's united we stand, divided we fall, not all fall together.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Trump impersonating him the other night? That was funny as could be.
No, I didn't see it.
He was like ducking down behind the podium. It's like he was real short. It was funny.
See that? It's one thing about the Democrats. Even the Democrats in West Virginia, for the most part, are pro-gun people because everybody owns guns in West Virginia. I mean, it's not a cliche. It's like everybody here just about owns at least one firearm of some kind, even if it's just a hunting weapon. I mean, it might be one. West Virginia and Alaska, right? Everybody owns a firearm in those states. But
It's because you have Bigfoots. You have to protect yourself.
like I said, if something's going to happen where it's going to affect West Virginia, it's going to have to be something that's done on a national level when it comes to this kind of stuff. Yeah, like I said, I mean, we had one guy, and he really didn't have anybody co-sponsoring him, trying to propose a ban on the bump stock before they were banned nationally. And the guy literally got booed off the state, well, not the stage, but the House floor by both sides of the aisle. But the Democrats in the House and the Republicans in the House. There was video of it. I don't know if the video is still up or not, or where to find it anymore. But there was video of it when it happened. But and neighbor to the north out there making definitely kind of sketchy down that way. Uh-huh. Weston says Booty Judge is dropping out.
Yep. Petey quit today. He didn't quit, as they put it. He suspended his campaign.
Didn't he win Iowa? They've only
He was like second or something, wasn't he? I thought he was still doing okay.
I thought he won Iowa. Bernie won New Hampshire, and Biden just won South Carolina. So I mean, it's kind of early for him to be doing that, right? I mean,
Technically, Bernie won Iowa too, but they gave it to Sweet Pete. Bernie got more votes though.
Yeah, but officially, Booty Pirate won Iowa. So I don't
get it. he got the majority of the delegates there.
Yeah.
So I don't get why he's quitting. But okay.
He might be low on money.
Yeah, maybe. Or he's making a deal with somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting to see. Who's the nominee, and who are they picking as their running mate? And is Bernie actually considering giving AOC a cabinet job or what?
Yeah, Weston's basically the same. Same situation I'm looking at. I mean, it's kind of weird he would drop out before Super Tuesday, especially if he, I know technicality or not, won one of the states that, one of the 3 states that's been up for grabs so far. It's just weird. And Biden, I guess, won the Senate race in South Carolina since he said he was running for the U.S. Senate. That brings up the next thing I want to talk about. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw, but earlier in the week, Steven Crowder put out a video where he makes a really strong case for Biden having dementia. And it really got me thinking that, what, he might be right. Yeah, he think the starting stages of it anyway. Because if you look at, especially the last debate, right? Joe Biden literally stops mid-sentence in what he was saying, and then just has a look on his face like he doesn't know, almost like he doesn't know where he is, and it says, "Why am I stopping?" Like
Yeah, but he did that to be fair. I mean, he was at the end of his time, and they know there's a little light that comes on when their time is up. Right, but Joe Biden's the nice guy. That's Lunch Bucket Joe. He follows the rules and he's nice to people.
Well, did you see the look he gave on Bernie? Bernie interrupted him about the one thing, and Biden gave him a look like he didn't know who Bernie Sanders was.
He was on Chris Wallace earlier today, and Chris Wallace was asking him about forgetting stuff and saying he got locked up with Nelson Mandela and all this kind of stuff. So Biden went through some blah 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 excuse which didn't make any sense, and then the dude was getting ready to get off the show, and he was like, "Thanks for having me, Alex." And Chris Wallace was like, "Well, my name is Chris, but that's okay."
Yeah, well, look at the South Carolina thing that I was just making a joke about. He literally said that he's a candidate for the U.S. Senate, and that if you don't like him, that's okay. Vote for the other Biden.
Oh yeah, man. He's lost his marbles a long time ago.
Yeah, and add to that where he's telling the story about the little kids playing with his leg hair, and that he likes it when little kids sit on his lap. Now, I've been around old people that had dementia because when I was younger, I went to a Christian school, which I've talked about this before, how we went to a Christian school, but we would go to the one nursing home every week. We made a trip to the local nursing home that was where the school was, and a lot of the dementia patients would say things like what Biden is saying about how people would do this or that and how they did this or that, and it was stuff that never happened, but they think it did because their mind isn't processing information right. You know what I mean? You see that? I mean, it's really starting to look like Biden may be in early stage dementia.
Well, he's an angry old man. I mean, if you
And
question him
That
on anything, he calls you a old fat guy, or he calls you a lying, dog-faced, ponytailed horse
Yeah.
soldier or whatever,
Here's
and
the thing.
he wants to fight, get all uppity in your face.
Yeah. Here's the thing. That's another symptom of dementia. You see when the I can't talk now. I'm getting dementia. No. But if you look at dementia patients, if you like call them on their story, they will get super defensive like what Joe Biden does. And so,
Joe
that's just
Biden has been sick for a very long time. The only reason that we notice it now is because he's got a camera in front of him way more.
yeah. Well, if you remember back to was it the 2012 or 2008 campaign when he was on the one campaign stop in Delaware, which is where he's from, he wanted to take the reporters out to lunch at the restaurant that he ate at when he was younger. And he said they have really good food still. The restaurant had been closed for over 20 years.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
he
gonna
believes
put you all back in chains.
believe in the truth, not the facts.
That's the kind of power that Barack Obama had. Barack Obama did a pretty good job keeping him quiet. You know, here's some
Well,
Secret Service agents, Joe. Go away. Go have fun
well,
somewhere.
well, except for the thing where he was talking about how he bribed the, where was it, Ukrainian president to fire the prosecutor.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't perfect. Obama couldn't be with him side by side every day, but for the most part, you didn't really hear much from Joe Biden.
And the best part is he said that Barack knew about it. He signed off on it. And Barack's like, well, I know nothing about that. I don't know if you saw when that happened.
Yeah. Remember the gay marriage thing? Barack Obama made a speech about he was anti-gay marriage, and then like 5 seconds later, Biden was like, "Yeah, we're about to release our gay marriage support."
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, like I've said before, I've made the joke that every time Joe Biden opened his mouth during that presidency, Obama's sitting in a back room somewhere, rubbing either rubbing his temples or the bridge of his nose. Shut up, Joe. Shut up, Joe. Shut
Black
up.
Cat, Black Cat's got the best one. He said the best Biden moment ever was
Yeah,
he was asking the guy in a wheelchair to stand up.
yeah. What wasn't it? He like a Indian World War II native or something? Would you please stand up? He's like, oh God bless you, you're in a wheelchair. That was special.
I didn't know about that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, yeah. Then Biden was giving a speech somewhere, and there was a World War II veteran in a wheelchair. I think it was one of the American Indian Wind Talkers or what, or something, like something along those lines. And Biden like, please stand up and take a bow. And then Biden stands there. It's like, and then it like dawns on me. You see it. you can see like the gears in his head whirling. Like, why isn't this guy standing up? But then you can see right when the light bulb goes off, he's like, "Oh, God bless you, you're in a wheelchair."
Wow.
Oh, that was special.
Well, around here in Ohio, because of the Buckeyes, all you have to do is say or shout OH, and somebody else will answer IO. It's a regular everyday thing around here. Biden came here campaigning as for vice president with Barack, and he went to our high school. And the first thing he did was come out and he said, "They told me to say OH," and the whole crowd was like crickets, man. He didn't pull it off right. He was totally out of time with it. It was hilarious.
My favorite is when Jeff Sessions is there with his family, and Joe Biden's creeping up on Jeff Sessions' granddaughter or
Like,
whatever, and then you see Jeff Sessions pull the kid away
yeah,
from
he
him.
grabs her and just like he starts pushing her away. No, get away from her. That was good too. I mean, he wasn't even like being sly about it. Sessions just grabs his granddaughter and just moves her promptly out of Biden's grasp. That was that was good. I mean, he looks at him like, "Don't even, Joe."
Did you see where that other senator threatened Don Jr.?
No.
Well, I'll look it up real quick and find out who it is. But Don Jr. said something. I'll look it up and find it out. But Don Jr. said something about the coronavirus, or lazy people or something like that. And some senator or congressman or whatever came out and said, "You better not say that in my presence, because there'll be trouble." I'm gonna go find out who it is. I'll be back.
Okay.
I like Don Jr. I saw him take on the ladies of the View one day. He's a brave man.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely starting to think that Steven Crowder's right on that Biden is suffering from dementia, which really is sad if it's true. I mean, none of us are going to like Biden's policies or anything like that, but it's sad that this guy is, if it's true that he's out there on the campaign trail and nobody is doing anything to stop it. You know, if he actually does have dementia, where's his family and stuff? You know what I mean? Shouldn't somebody be like pulling him to the side and talking to him and find out what's going on? That's a question for you guys. I know Kingpin left.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have had dementia for a moment.
All right, here we go. Democratic Representative John Garamendi from California lambasted Donald Trump Jr. for claiming Democrats would like the coronavirus to kill millions of people so they can stop Donald Trump's streak of winning. In an interview with MSNBC, Garamendi said if Trump Jr. said that they're near me, there'd be serious altercations. And just to let you know, Garamandi's an old dude, and I don't know much about Don Jr., but I think Don Jr. is not afraid to tussle with this old guy. Donald Jr.'s probably got more respect for himself than to fight an old man.
Yeah, well, they're already starting to blame Donald Trump for it. I mean, the coronavirus thing. I mean, what was it? Friday night on Gizzard Gary's channel. I brought up about how Adam Schiff has come out and said that it's Donald Trump's fault because of the way he's handling it, and I'm waiting for him to try and do articles of impeachment on Trump for the way he's handling the coronavirus now. I mean,
It's the Trump virus.
but we're not going down this route because I got tired of hearing that crap yesterday on Rick's Life as I See It. You guys were there. I mean, E Honda was in fine form yesterday when it came to the coronavirus and the conspiracy theories.
Next year it'll be some other virus, and the year after that it'll be another virus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to this and I'm out in the YouTube chat. I'm like, I'm out. I've heard enough of this BS. Oh man, him and Rob D, man, they were, oh boy. Yeah, I like Rob, but goddamn, man, reel it in something. The two of them were like, you got those two going, and it was crazy. They sounded like a couple of nuts, I mean, literally. You know, they sounded like, you know what? They sounded like a couple of Joe Bidens. If you want to hear the conspiracy theories going crazy over coronavirus, yeah, go watch Rick's Life as I See It from yesterday. I think Vanessa may have been getting irritated with them too because both of us were basically saying the same kind of thing in the YouTube chat, and two of them just kept going on and on and on and on and on about with the nonsense that they were spewing. Hey, look, Pat's here. How you doing? Got the kids all situated and everything?
Yeah, I think so. You guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, good.
I don't know if
Good.
you were listening or not. We were just talking about Steven Crowder earlier in the week, talking about Joe Biden and pointing out why he thinks Joe Biden might be in early stages of dementia, how I agree with him and some of the reasons why he was saying this, and you know, he pointing to the recent gaffes that he was making in South Carolina and some other things. Got any thoughts of that on that? Where if Biden might be suffering from dementia or not?
Well, I tell you what, I think he's more over the map than what even Bernie Sanders is, because one of the quotes that, what was it, the last Democratic debate that they had, it was one before South Carolina, about, he said, and since 2007, 150 million people have died from gun violence. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
You just spitting out numbers now.
Yeah, that would be half.
It's not even close.
Yeah, that would be half the population of the United States.
Yeah, and I was like, what? I think I caught that on Fox or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, now you're just spitting out random numbers just to strike fear into people.
Yeah, that was
unfacted fear.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Crowder pointed to, was that number, because he may have maybe wanted to say 150,000, but he said 150 million instead. Somebody who's starting to get dementia, they will mix up words. So that was one of the things that Crowder pointed to also as one of his points of evidence that maybe Crowder's starting to suffer from dementia. Here I go again. I can't talk either. But maybe Biden is starting to suffer from dementia.
Yeah, it's crazy on how all that's going, and for the life of me, I don't know how he won South Carolina as far as that primary went. You know, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just unfounded fear, and what he doesn't understand, you know, and most of them don't, is when they group all the people that have died from gun violence, is that it's like 1% on mass shooting, and like, I can't remember, was it 60% was from, or 60 or 70%? It's somewhere right around in there that I on the FBI statistics, the stat page, that most of that is gang related violence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with handguns. So yeah, they don't even know what they're talking about as far as any stats or anything. They just throw wild numbers out there, and there it is.
Yeah, but this case, his number was so off. That that could be one of the signs. Again, he may have meant to say 1,000 and said million. You know, and people with dementia will do that. They'll mean to say one word but say a different word. It's like almost like Tourette's. And when somebody has Tourette's and they're shouting out random words and stuff, it's almost that same kind of thing. They'll like, again, with this case with Biden, he said 150 million. He may have 150,000, which would have been a more reasonable number and more accurate. But instead, he said million because his mind confused the two words, and that's what came out when he meant to say a different word. Which is one of the reasons why people with dementia will seem like they're more angry and stuff. They're getting angry with themselves because they mean to say one thing and they'll say another thing. And that's one of the things that we have seen potentially with Biden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't catch Stevens' deal this week, but yeah, I would have to agree with him. If he's starting to say one thing and mean another, something like that, it makes a guy wonder what's actually going on inside of his head
Yeah,
as far as mental health.
Going back to the debate you were just talking about it, and I had mentioned it before you jumped in. Bernie interrupted Biden, and he looked at him like he didn't know who he was. I mean, it wasn't just a "Why are you interrupting me?" kind of look he gave him. It was a look like he didn't recognize who Bernie Sanders was for a minute. I mean, it literally was that kind. You know the kind of look I'm talking about. That's the kind of look he gave him. Like he didn't recognize the person.
Kind of like that 1,000-yard stares, like kind of like, who the heck are you?
Yeah.
Should I know you?
Stephen
go
Crowder made a real good did a real good video, and the things that he was saying, yeah, it could point to the fact that Biden is starting to lose his mind, literally.
Yeah, well, I think him and Bernie have. Well, I know Bernie's lost his freaking mind.
Well,
But
Bernie
Biden
hasn't
might
lost
be
his
right
mind.
behind him.
Bernie's been like this for years. Bernie,
Right.
remember, this is the guy that honeymooned in the Soviet Union in the 80s. Who goes to the Soviet Union and thinks that's a great honeymoon spot?
No.
Yeah, I'll pass, thank you.
A communist does.
Well, no, the communists are trying to get out. The people in Russia are trying to get out, and Bernie's trying to get in for his honeymoon. And then you got the whole
yeah, it's definitely crazy.
Yeah, and then Bernie this week also saying how great Fidel Castro was because of his push for literacy.
I was watching this thing on the Berlin Wall the other day, and as the people on the west side were chaining the top of the wall and bringing that real big section down, like a couple yards away, they had kind of bored a hole in the middle of it, and people were crawling through it. And then when that one piece came down, people started pouring over the top of it. And the thing that you cannot accept in any other way, shape, or form, the truth is, not one single person went from the west to the east. No one, not one person. You'll have to show me the video where somebody actually did that. Now, I'm not talking about on top of the wall or fell over while they were pulling somebody. I'm talking about when there was a space in the wall between where you could get from east to west. Everybody from the east was coming into the west side. Nobody was headed from the west to the east side.
Yeah, the only one I remember was a reporter that did it.
Yeah, I'm talking about civilians, like regular people, not reporters.
I know what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying the only one I can remember seeing do it was a reporter. I mean, the other people, the people that lived in West Germany, were not running to cross into East Germany. That was not happening. People in West Berlin were not going to East Berlin.
Yeah, well, it's like the same thing that's going on over in China, over there where they had the riots there and everything for so long. Wanting the same freedoms that we have,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
where
they're over in Hong Kong.
the cops were using, you know, everything. And, but they want to be like us. They want to have that freedom. And that's
Mhm.
that kind of getting back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
Not one person was going from the east to west, you know, it's the same kind of battle.
And another thing that sticks with you when you look at when they tore down the Berlin Wall, the difference in conditions when the reporters would have their cameraman pan from what West Berlin looked like, and then pan to what East Berlin looked like. It wasn't the same city. It was two different cities.
Yep, that's communism at work for you.
Yeah, I mean that was,
It does.
and all these kids that are like socialism is great. They didn't live through the Cold War. They don't know what the hell they're talking about because they didn't experience what happened. They weren't worried about, or is the Soviet Union going to nuke us today or not? You know, when we were kids, man, that was the thing. I don't know how old you are, Pat. I know when Kingpin, Stacy, and I, and Jason, when we were kids, I mean, that was a thing, man. Are we going to get, until Gorbachev really started to relax things? I mean, prior to that, you didn't know if there was going to be a bomb flying into your backyard later on in the day. You know, the kids today, they don't understand this. They didn't live through that.
Yeah, I'm 40 or almost 40 now, and you know, I was a little kid, you know, when the Berlin Wall came down, and you know, I didn't know what communism or anything like that was, but I am seeing the reports and stuff on the news because, you know, mom and dad always watch the news every night, and seeing those images from one side to the other, and you know, thinking even as a little kid at that point in time, it's like, whoa, holy cow, I am glad I don't live there.
Yeah,
You know, and not having a clue what communism or anything was
yeah,
at that point in time. It's just, I was just glad to be here.
yeah.
Not there.
I was waiting at doctor's office or something like that one day, and there was a kid sitting there listening to "Wind to Change" right by the Scorpions. I asked them if they knew what that song was about. They just gave me the blank stare like Joe Biden gave Bernie. They didn't know what I was talking. They didn't. They had no clue what that song was about because they didn't live through it. That song when we were kids, man, that song had meaning because that we we were living through that change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. You know, well, you know, like I said before, I didn't fully understand exactly what was going on. You know, just being a little kid. You know, see what wall came down in '88, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, about that time, 88.
Uh,
yeah,
Or
88,
no,
89.
and
Somewhere
then
around
the Soviet Union broke apart, what, 90 or 91?
90. Yeah, it was the 90s. It was before 92 because 92 was when they had what did they call it? The consolidated team, which was all the former Soviet nations states went as one team, but the Soviet Union had broken up by that point. So yeah, it had to have been 90 or
yeah.
91.
Okay. Yeah, I probably would have been about 10 or 11 then. And, you know, just being thankful that I lived here and not over there from the images I saw on TV.
Yeah, Ozzy was saying when he was a kid they had bomb drills because of Russia being in Cuba. Yeah, Ozzy, you would have been a kid back when Berlin when the Cuban Missile Crisis happened, right? You would have been just a little kid then, but you would have been a kid at that point. He's in his 60s, if I remember right.
Oh,
We
gotcha.
we did bomb drills when I was in school.
I think we did bomb. I can remember doing bomb drills for 1 year when I was in school. That was like first grade. I think we did bomb drills, but after that, we didn't do them anymore. First grade, that would have been 79. No, 79 would have been kindergarten. 80 would have been first grade. So,
Yeah, I don't remember having to do bomb drills. I just remember tornado and fire drills. So they never used the word bomb anyway. So
well, basically the same thing.
right.
Everything was listed as a fallout shelter.
Yep.
Any building with a basement.
Yeah. Yeah. Our school had an actual fallout shelter in the basement where I went when I was in middle school. In the sub basement, the sub basement was actually a fallout shelter. It was one of those ones that was like supposed to be shielded against radiation and everything. The door to get in there, you went right by the school swimming pool. You had to go in past the school swimming pool into the boiler room, and then there was a stairway down that led to the fallout shelter.
No, wait, your little school had its own swimming pool?
I didn't go to a little school, brother. I went to school in Pittsburgh.
Well, I mean, I meant like the grades, like your
No,
elementary
this was
school,
middle school. In middle school,
middle school, but you
yeah,
still had a swimming pool.
yes, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. Oh, there was only one, no, two middle schools in the city of Pittsburgh that didn't have swimming pools.
Well, I didn't get to go to a rich white school.
Man, this was an inner city middle school. What are you talking?
I don't think my school had a swimming pool. We more had like leaking water pipes.
Well, high school, we not only did we have a swimming pool, it was an Olympic-sized swimming pool. All the high schools in the city had Olympic-sized swimming pools, except for one.
No, we didn't have pools, and we still don't have them here.
Yeah, they didn't where my kids went to school either, which was also where my wife went to school.
If we did have pools at our school, you would most definitely have to pay extra for it.
Yeah, we had all the high schools and all the middle schools had swim teams.
And Rich,
Oh, yeah,
you
thinking-
ignored the joke. You ignored the joke entirely.
What joke?
He said he didn't get to go to a rich white school.
Yeah, I got the joke. It wasn't funny.
You ignored it entirely. It was hilarious.
Yes, I ignored it for a reason.
Yeah, it was really funny. I don't know about not funny. It was really funny.
Uh-huh. I ignored that for a reason. That's why I made my own joke. Man, this was an inner city school. You know,
You and your
turned
own
the
jokes.
joke on. I turned the joke on him. You guys didn't
Yes.
take that part.
No, you turned the joke on yourself is what you did.
No, I didn't.
I caught the inner city part. I caught it.
Yeah, see, Jason gets what I'm saying. Uh-oh, I guess I'm corrupting Jason again. Is that right, Kingpin?
No, he's fighting back. He's got some fortitude behind him. He's not going to let you get him twice.
No,
Yeah.
he disagreed with me, so that means I'm corrupting him some more.
Apparently,
No, I
Black
didn't
Cat
agree.
has
I
some
just,
choice words.
You said you caught my joke part, which Nice
Okay.
saying that I didn't make a joke about it. See?
Darn 1% and their fancy water holes in the building.
No, that would have been Perry High School, which I didn't go to. I mean, Perry High School swimming pool back then was that it literally was like the cement pond from Beverly Hillbillies. Actually, no, it was worse than that because it didn't have any shape to it. It was like a 20-foot long rectangle.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't go to one of them fancy schools with swimming pools. About the best thing we
Yeah,
had was
neither
Fight
did I.
Club.
I can tell you one thing: we didn't have them there fancy cement ponds.
Yeah, neither
Cement
did I.
pond.
Yeah. Well, if you think that's something, man, you should have seen the junior high school that was from the one township that was just north of Pittsburgh. We did a exhibition swimming with them when I was in 8th grade. That that the swimming pool in that place was ridiculous. It was massive. And that would have been a rich kid school, by the way. But the swimming pool and this was in a junior high school, man. The swimming pool, it literally looked like you've seen the Olympics, right? Where they do their swimming events, how big that swimming pool is. That's the kind of swimming pool they had. This thing was massive. We thought we were pulling up when we pulled up to the school. We thought we were pulling up to the main body of the school when meanwhile this was just their athletics building. And we get in there, it's like, holy cow! The high schools that in the city didn't have pools as big as what this junior high school had. It was crazy.
Oh, I just wanted to bring something up real quick. Has anybody noticed that like all the freaking freeze dried food and dehydrators and everything are like completely out of stock right at the moment?
Gee, I wonder why. Because of possible coronavirus scares, maybe?
It's E Honda.
I know.
Hint, hint.
I was being sarcastic.
It's E Honda.
It's E Honda, it's New York, and it's San Francisco's fault.
Well, yeah, they keep telling everybody, don't buy the masks unless, you're in an area or actually the people that may be infected to actually use it. So, of course, the plant, and it's either North Dakota or South Dakota, where they produce that certain mask. Like our nursing home in town can't even get masks right now at all.
Yeah, they're saying there's a shortage of those everywhere. People are like freaking out, and it's just going to be H1N1 all over again, or Ebola, or whatever. Every year there's one of these super things that's going to kill everybody. We've been hearing it since God 2000. This is going to wipe out half the planet. No, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah, you forgot SARS.
Well, that was before H1N1.
But we've always been living in fear of the Ebola.
Well, that was a couple years ago. It's like crazy though. It's like every year you got this new super thing that's going to kill everybody. And
It's like, what are they trying to hide?
Hey, I got a dumb question, and I mean it's a dumb question, but I really don't know the answer to it. With this new coronavirus, what is it about it that kills you?
it's like it's a super common cold essentially is what it is. And it makes you really susceptible to things like pneumonia, and that's what you end up actually dying from is the pneumonia that's caused by the virus.
All right, yeah, I
Yeah, and
haven't heard anything of the symptoms or what it really is.
Yeah, it's like it's like if the common cold decided to work out and take steroids.
Yeah, what is it? It's just, and mainly the people, mainly, not all, but mainly from what I see on the news anyway, said it's getting the people that have like underlying health issues and the elderly and the very young.
Yeah.
is what it's really gotten after.
People have died this year from. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard me or not. I was saying because my connection went to crap all of a sudden, but more people have died this year from the flu than have died from the coronavirus worldwide. So just put that in perspective.
Yeah, the problem with using that is far, far, far more people get the flu than get the coronavirus. So even comparing it to the flu, when you're talking about ailment and death and recovery time, it's way too early. You know, there's not enough people that have got the coronavirus or died from it. Even with China lying about all their statistics, to compare it to the flu. Because think about, I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of people get the flu every year?
Yeah, well, that just goes even more to show that the coronavirus isn't as bad as what they're saying. Because if it was, more people would have it, and you would have more people dying. I mean, it's the latest scare of the super bug that's going to kill everybody. That's all it is. The fact that more people get and die from the flu than would have caught and died from coronavirus. I mean, doesn't make, the coronavirus isn't as bad as what people are making it out to be. It's just that it's something new, and so it's scary.
Well, I don't know. I keep saying yesterday, the swamp in DC and the fake lamestream media was the worst thing that's ever happened to our country. And now today, everything that comes out of Washington and the fake news is gospel. So what is it? Are they fake news yesterday, and now that they're telling us we're all going to die from coronavirus, and all of a sudden they're credible?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just wanted to kick that nest tonight.
It's just a thing. I mean, again, every so many years we get this new super bug that's going to kill half the planet. Wake me up when it actually happens, please. And Gary's saying, but they're still out there talking about schools and swimming pools. Gary's saying there's less than a half dozen high schools in the entire state of Kansas that has their own pools. I bet you some of the bigger city. Well, Kansas doesn't have a whole lot of big cities, but maybe Kansas City and what's another big city in Kansas? Anyway, I bet you there's some of the city schools that do places. Not every high school in Pennsylvania has a swimming pool either, I'm sure. But the big cities like Erie, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, the high schools generally had swimming pools, and those three cities have their high schools have pools. But anyway, we got. Oh, do we want to get to the bracket now? Pat, you know how brackets work? When people have done brackets on YouTube before, or have you not seen one of those?
No, I I don't know how they work. I just started getting into this, so
Okay, well, you've seen like a playoff bracket, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, basically it's like a playoff bracket, and the host will fill in like the first rounds, and then there'll be a topic for each bracket, like say top 10 handguns or something along, or top 16 handguns and whatnot. And what happens is the panelists all vote until we get down to where we have just one left. Okay, so like say if you
Okay.
were going the handgun one, you might have like the Glock 23 versus the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 or something like that. But I go all that and mention handgun brackets, and this one's not even firearms related. A while back,
They're awful.
a while back, we did a bracket on power ballads, and when I was putting that one together, I came up with a list of leftovers, right? So, and I called that Power Ballads Part 2, and we've never got around to actually doing that bracket. So that's what we were going to do tonight. It's just something fun to blow off steam and whatnot. So that's
Wait a minute, leftovers. I don't see Midnight Range here anywhere.
No, he comes up next. He's next. Whenever we get done here, so we got to try and get through this quick because he's probably going to be sending out the links in like a half hour. But let me get over here. Oops, that's good. Do that. Yeah. All right. Where's my? Quit talking in the inside chat, darn you. All right. I hit the screen share button.
No. Tell me what to do.
Yee, infinite screens. All right. So y'all seeing this bracket here?
No, I see a whole bunch of.
We see infinity.
You still seeing
beyond.
infinity? It's not screen sharing proper?
No, pretty much infinity.
No.
Whoa, infinity and bracket now. Let me go back over. Now do you see it?
Yes, dear.
Now we see it. Yes.
Okay. So this is what we got. We got Open Arms from Journey, because this is power ballads again, with going against Forever by Kiss. Of course, there's two songs on here that probably aren't necessarily power ballads, but I ran out of songs and I threw them on the list just because. And then next we have Jet City Woman by Queensryche. Oh, by the way, when the songs that aren't power ballads, they'll be pretty obvious when we get to them. Jet City Woman by Queensryche versus Goodbye to Romance Live by Ozzy. Then In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel going against Fly to the Angels by Slaughter. Next, we have November Rain by Guns N' Roses versus More Than Words by Extreme. When the Children Cry by White Lion against The Ballad of Jane from LA Guns. High Enough by Damn Yankees against I Won't Forget You by Poison. Fade to Black by Metallica going against Hallowed Be Thy Name by Iron Maiden. See the one that they're really not power ballads, but I threw them on there anyway. And then we got two songs by the Scorpions going head to head. No One Like You and then Still Loving You. So those are the songs we have on here. And these are the leftovers from the last one. Metallica and Iron Maiden thrown in there because I couldn't think of anything else and I needed two more songs. So, and I like both of the songs. And Fade to Black is kind of slow, but Hallowed Be Thy Name is just my favorite Iron Maiden song, so it made the list. All right.
What, you couldn't get any Black Sabbath in here?
I got Ozzy.
Okay, Ozzy's one thing, but Black Sabbath is another. And we're talking Black Sabbath, but, with Ozzy, not with Dio, okay?
Again, I got Ozzy. Be quiet.
It's not the same.
Well, you do realize that on that song there, Geezer Butler was playing bass. So it's half of Sabbath.
Still not the same. It's still not the same. Don't argue with me.
I already was. It's kind of hard to say not to argue with you now when I already was. But anyway, we will start with Stacy on this. Open Arms by Journey or Forever by Kiss? Hello?
Dang it, I was muted the whole time. I said Open Arms, and I've been sitting here arguing with Snob.
Because I said never Journey, because Journey sucks.
Well, you can go to the chat room.
You had an invite, Snob. You could have been in here and voted, but,
He doesn't need
Okay,
to
so
come in.
we got one by Journey. One for Journey. Oh, righty. Jason, Journey or Kiss?
Between these two songs, I'll have to go with Open Arms.
All right, that's two for Journey. Kingpin?
Well, I don't really know much about either one of these songs or bands, but I'm gonna go with Snob and say not Journey.
Okay, so that's one for Kiss.
Suck up.
Thanks, Kingpin.
Suck up.
Pat,
Oh, I got to go with Kiss.
that's two for Kiss. Oh, it's tied. Night Strike.
I actually can't stand Kiss, so I'm gonna have to go Journey, even though I'm not a big fan of Journey either.
Journey
All right,
has
so
fun.
Journey moves on because they would have got my vote too. Even though I am a Kiss fan. I like Journey too. All right. So next we got Jet City Woman and Goodbye to Romance. And this time we will start with Jason.
It's got to be Ozzy, dude.
Whoops.
All right. Kingpin.
Sorry, I hit the wrong buttons. Jet City Woman, of course.
Okay. Pat.
Jet City Woman.
All right. Night Strike.
I'm gonna go Ozzy.
And tied again. Stacy.
Ozzy.
Ooh, we are tied. Because I would go with Jet City Woman. Yeah, I guess I got to send this one out there to the audience. When I type go, say either Ozzy or Queensryche.
What about
When I say
Gizzard?
go,
Wait, Gizzard didn't get a vote.
is he in here?
Yeah. Oh,
I
you can't see.
see-
You can't see the.
I can't see.
Yeah, Gizzard just
Yeah.
joined us.
Okay, well, Gary, if you're in here now, Queensryche or Ozzy?
He's muted still.
Sorry about that. Ozzy.
Okay. Next, we have In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel versus Fly to the Angels by Slaughter. Kingpin, which one?
Where we have Peter Gabriel and Slaughter, that's pretty good. I mean, I like both of those songs. I'm gonna go with my ace in the hole. What do you think, Snobby?
He probably doesn't even know the songs.
Slaughter.
Slaughter it is.
Good choice, at least.
All right.
Act like I don't know this music.
You don't.
I'm not that young.
Just knew it.
I mean, I know Vanilla Ice more, but you know.
Oh, I got to go Slaughter.
All right. Night Strike.
Which one?
Peter
Peter
Gabriel and
Gabriel
Slaughter.
versus Slaughter. Oh, I'm gonna have to go Slaughter.
Okay. Who's next? I don't remember who all's in here. Stacy.
Slaughter.
Wow, it's already one. Wouldn't have been my choice. Jason. I mean, it's pretty much decided already. But what would you have said? Did I skip Gary? I skipped Gary.
Yeah, I got
Says-
gizzarded again.
I forgot you're in here because you haven't been in here and you came in just in time for the second part of the second selection in the bracket, and I can't see you. So sorry, Gary. Which one would you have picked?
Slaughter.
Okay, and Jason, which one would you have picked?
Fly High to the Angels.
I actually would have went Peter Gabriel. But, okay, I like Fly to the Angels too. I like the Peter Gabriel one just a little bit. All right. Next, we have November Rain by Guns N' Roses versus More Than Words by Extreme. I believe, Pat, you go first this time.
We do have a request from G Webs real quick. He's wanting, is this song versus song or is this band versus band? Like, can you explain what's happening right here? He can't read the printing on the screen's kind of small.
It's song versus song. Yeah, we got some power ballads here that from different bands, but it's song versus song, not band versus band. It's actually supposed to be song versus song. Basically, which one of them is the better song? Hope that explains it better for those who might be listening but can't see the bracket itself. All right. So yeah, we got November Rain versus More Than Words, and Pat, you go first.
I got to go with November Rain for sure.
All right. Night Strike.
November Rain.
Okay. Gary.
November Rain.
Right. Stacy.
Hard choice, but love both those songs.
November Rain.
November Rain. I
All
love
right.
Roses.
Jason
It's Guns N' Roses.
and Kingpin.
What's the other song? I can't
More
see.
Than Words. More
Oh.
Than Words by.
Yeah, November Rain.
And that would make that unanimous. Next, we got When the Children Cry by White Lion versus The Ballad of Jane by LA Guns. And this Night Strike, I believe you go first this time.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to go for Ballad of Jane.
All right. Gary?
When the Children Cry.
All right. Stacy?
Again, a really, really hard choice. When the Children Cry.
All right. Jason?
No one will ever know how much I loved her so.
That makes that 3-1. Kingpin?
I'm gonna have to defer to the gun snob again.
Gun Snob is taking a shower.
Oh dang, that stinks.
They're both really good songs. Can't mess with either one.
Let's go with the LA Guns song then.
Ballad of
All
Jane.
right.
Good mood, boy.
Pat?
Good mood.
Pat, it doesn't matter anymore because we already know who's going to win, but what one would you say just for the sake of your vote?
I got to go with the LA Guns on that one.
All right. And my vote doesn't matter, but I probably would have went that way as well. All right. Next, we have High Enough by the Damn Yankees versus I Won't Forget You by Poison. Gary, you're first.
High Enough.
All right. Stacy?
What were the choices?
High Enough by Damn Yankees and I Won't Forget You by Poison.
High Enough.
Jason?
Oh, High Enough, damn Yankees.
All right.
Great.
Kingpin?
Yankees.
Pat?
Damn Yankees, High Enough for sure.
Yeah. Night Strike?
I don't want to say it now. I give my vote to Jason Stewart.
I'm assuming Night Strike is going to go Poison.
I'll never forget what's her name.
Wrong selection, but okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much. We already know what's going on here.
We already know what's going to win, so it doesn't really matter. At
Yeah.
that point.
All right. Next, we have "Fade to Black" by Metallica against "Hallowed Be Thy Name" by Iron Maiden. Two songs that might be borderline not even supposed to be on this bracket, but they were the fill-ins, and got to live with it. So, whose turn is it? Gary went last time, right? So this will be Stacy starting off now.
What were the choices? I can't read it.
"Fade to Black" by Metallica and "Hallowed Be Thy Name" Iron Maiden.
Metallica.
Jason?
All Metallica.
Kingpin?
Are these songs? Maybe like is this Emmett Till again?
No, these are songs, and Emmett Otter is a real thing.
I'll go with Metallica.
Pat?
Fade to Black.
Night Strike?
Why would you do this to me? Make me choose between these two bands. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Hey, I like both of these songs too, man. Come on.
I should ask that cat over there to go up to you and slap you across the face. All right. If I'm going to have to make a choice, I'm going to go with Metallica.
All right. I actually would have went Iron Maiden. Gary, you got a choice.
I would have too,
here.
but I don't see them winning with this crowd.
Fade to Black, definitely.
All right. I like both songs, but I think I like how Be Need just a little bit more, but Fade to Black wins. If Scotsman were here, he would slap every single one of you. So I think How Would Be Our Name, maybe if not his favorite Iron Maiden song, maybe his favorite song, period. But yeah.
Can you scroll down now?
I'm already at the bottom.
Yeah, well, we can't see it, so.
Well, I can't see. I'm already scrolled all the way down.
All right, whatever.
All right. So next one in the last spot on the list, before we go to the next round, is "No One Like You" by the Scorpions versus "Still Loving You" by the Scorpions.
Eef.
Keith, you're first.
Who's first?
Jason.
Oh, well, I guess it's gonna be Scorpions, but Still Loving You. That's what I'll choose.
All right. Kingpin.
What are the names of the songs?
"No One Like You" and "Still Loving You."
Whatever Jason just voted for.
Okay, that was "Still Loving You," I believe. Was that right, Jason?
That's correct.
All right. Pat.
Still Loving You.
All right. Night Strike.
No One Like You.
All right. Gary.
No One Like You.
Stacy.
No One Like You.
And I will also take "No One Like You." So that one moves on.
It's just a better song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other one isn't that bad either, but I mean,
No, they're both good. They're both good.
Out of the two of them, if they were on the radio right now, I'd rather listen to "No One Like You."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both good songs, though. I mean, I agree with that. But "No One Like You," I think, is just a slight bit better than "Still Loving You." All right. Now we're back up to the top left-hand side with "Open Arms" by Journey versus "Goodbye to Romance" by Ozzy. And we start with Kingpin.
What's it again? What are my choices again? Where are we at?
"Open Arms" by Journey versus "Goodbye to Romance" by Ozzy.
Ozzy.
All right. Pat.
Ozzy for sure.
All right. Night Strike.
Do you even have to ask Ozzy?
Gary.
Definitely Aussie.
All right. Stacy.
Goodbye to romance.
All right. Jason. It's academic at this point, but
It was Ozzy versus Journey.
uh-huh.
Oh, well, okay. Ozzy.
All right. So that one will move on. As long as my fingers don't get ahead of themselves and type the wrong word. All right. Next, we have Fly to the Angels versus November Rain. Which one is it? Kingpin. No, right? Am I right? Whose turn is it? I lost track here. Who went first the last time?
I don't know.
Kingpin looks like last.
Jason
Kingpin
was
did.
last. Jason was just last, right?
Jason was last. Yeah, so you would have to start it. All right. Pat, Fly to the Angels or November Rain?
November Rain.
All right. Night Strike. I just noticed I can't.
November Rain.
And I just noticed I can't spell.
We know, but November Rain. So just take that down and go on.
All right, Gary,
November Rain.
Stacy,
Fly to the Angels. I
Okay.
love Slaughter.
Jason.
It'd be November Rain.
All right. Kingpin, it's academic at this point.
I'm gonna go with C4 Defense and say Autumn Drizzle.
That's an interesting way of saying November Rain, but okay. That one wins. That would have been my choice as well. So. I've seen Guns N' Roses live. I have not seen Slaughter live. That's all you need to know. All right. Next, The Ballad of Jane versus High Enough. This one might be a hard one. And we start with Night Strike.
Wait, what?
It's your turn.
I know it's my turn, but what are my
The
choices
Ballad
again?
of Jane versus
Your
High
screen.
Enough.
Ballad Jane.
Gary,
Enough.
Stacy,
Huh. Bow to Jane.
Jesus.
was that not Snob making a comment in the background?
No,
Um,
I think so.
No,
I think this time.
somebody did. Somebody
Someone-
said something.
Someone on the panel.
Jason,
I think I'll be going with the Ballad of Jane from LA Guns.
all right. Kingpin,
Not even aware that the Ballad of Jane is an actual song. So I'm going with High Enough.
all right.
Oh,
Pat?
jeez, damn.
Ballad of Jane.
All right, and I would have went with High Enough. But Jane moves on. All right, next, we have Fade to Black by Metallica versus No One Like You by the Scorpions.
I'm gonna go out there and do my invoices. I ain't staying out there very long.
And we start with the Gizzard.
Fade to Black.
Right, Stacy,
Fade to black.
Jason,
Be Fade to Black.
Kingpin,
Yeah, I'm gonna vote with the crowd and go with the Metallica song.
Pat,
Fade to black.
Night Strike.
Fade to black.
All right, that's unanimous. All right, that brings us to Ozzy versus Guns N' Roses. Goodbye to Romance or November Rain. And are we back to Stacy again? Yeah, I think so. All right. If not, so what? Stacy, you're what came to my mind first. This person's supposed to go first. So November Rain or Ozzy.
Goodbye to Romance.
All right. Jason.
I'm gonna have to go November Rain.
All right. Kingpin.
November Rain.
Pat.
November Rain.
Night Strike. Did we lose Night Strike?
No idea.
Oh, is he still over there? I can't remember.
So disconnected.
Okay.
Yep,
So,
just left my screen.
He didn't
all
want
right, we'll come back to him if he comes back. Gary.
Goodbye to Romance.
I lost internet connection. Sorry about that.
Okay. November Rain or Goodbye to Romance. Night Strike.
You pick for me.
Well, I already know what I was going to pick and what I was going to.
Well,
Pick
then
with
I'm
a-
giving it to you. You go ahead and make the choice for us.
Okay, I'm just saying it wouldn't matter because I was going to pick November Rain, which would put it over the top anyway.
Well, then there you go. That's what we're picking. Problem solved.
All right, now we got the Ballad of Jane versus Fade to Black. Jason.
I'm gonna go back to the Ballad of Jane. Sorry, Metallica.
Kingpin.
I just pulled up that Ballad of Jane song and OMG Metallica.
Pat.
Fade to black.
Night Strike.
Metallica.
Gizzard.
Fade to Black. Metallica.
Stacy.
Metallica.
Jason. You already went. What am I saying? I'm losing my mind. I'm turning into Joe Biden, I swear. We're talking about Joe Biden turning into Joe Biden.
Wait. You're not touching people creepily, are you?
No, but it's Metallica versus Guns N' Roses.
All right, I think it'll be fine.
Somehow I just knew this was going to happen. I don't know why, but whenever we were trying to figure out what to put in for the last song, because I kind of screwed up and had more than words in here twice when I was first putting this together from the list that I had written up, and Stacy suggested November Rain, and I'm looking at one side of the bracket and seeing Guns N' Roses, looking at the other side of the bracket seeing Metallica. I knew this was going to be the final. Somehow I just knew it. But yeah. With that said, Kingpin, November Rain or Fade to Black?
November Rain.
All right. Pat?
Ah, boy, that's a tough one. I gotta go with November Rain just because it is more of a power ballad.
All right. Night Strike?
Do I have to choose?
Yes, you have to choose.
You know what?
Used up your one phone a friend.
I used up my phone a friend. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to go with November Rain.
All right. Gizzard?
Fade to black.
Stacy?
Technically, November Rain's more a ballad than Metallica, so November Rain.
All right. Jason, it's very much academic at this point, but which one would you pick?
Guns N' Roses.
All right. This one, I don't know, man. This is hard. I probably would have flipped a coin, but it doesn't matter because November Rain wins.
I had a feeling November Rain was going to pull it out right at the first bracket level.
I wasn't sure which one was going to win,
If only just
but
for
I
the
knew this was
ballad
going to be
thing.
the final. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I saw when I put that in there, and then I noticed that Metallica was on one side and Guns N' Roses on the other. I knew that was going to be the final. If it wasn't going to be Guns N' Roses, it would have been Journey because, it's Journey, and they won the last ballad bracket, so they're the ones that won part one with Don't Stop Believing. But there's your winner, folks. November Rain. Voted as for part two of the power ballad of the Leftovers as the winner.
You should all feel awful.
Why? November Rain's a good
I'm
song.
dead inside.
Yeah, November Rain's a good song. Now, just for kicks, we got a winner from part one, and we got a winner from part two. Should we vote on those two to see which one would come out on top?
Yes.
All right. So the number one from the first ballad, the winner of the first ballad was Don't Stop Believing by Journey. And now we're going against November Rain by Guns N' Roses. And we will start with Stacy since this is technically a new bracket. It's a two selection bracket, but it's a new bracket.
Don't
So
stop.
November Rain versus Guns N' Roses versus Journey. November Rain versus Don't Stop Believing. Which one?
Don't stop believing.
All right. Jason?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I muted?
Yeah.
It was Guns N' Roses.
All right. Kingpin?
Guns N' Roses.
Pat?
November Rain for the championship.
Night Strike?
Don't Stop Believing.
Gary?
November Rain.
All right. It's 4-3. November Rain wins, but I would have went with Journey. So there's your number one overall between the two ballad brackets. November Rain wins.
Good choices either way.
Yeah, either song's a good choice. They're both really good songs.
That was a good win.
Stop sharing. Close that bracket. See, if Midnight sent his links up. Midnight still has not sent his links out, so
Not
we
yet.
still got time to chat. Anybody got anything they want to?
He was in the chat room just a few minutes ago, and he said you're going to need to run a few minutes long.
Okay.
He said he's getting set up now, but you can keep going for a few extra minutes, I guess.
All right. Yeah, I couldn't see that. And G23 says Journey gets robbed again. They get robbed twice in one day. Is that what you're saying there, G23? Technically, I don't think they got robbed because they did win the first bracket. Yeah, both of those songs were deserving. I mean, either one of them could have won. And it did come down to a 4-3 vote.
On the first bracket, who did Journey defeat?
Jeez, I think it was Patience.
I love Patience.
So I guess you could say Guns N' Roses got their revenge.
Surprised we didn't have any Def Leppard on there.
I had them on the first bracket. Remember, this was the leftovers, stuff that I couldn't fit on the first bracket.
I wasn't on that bracket, so it doesn't count.
I think you were. Maybe. That was a while back. I have to go look and try and find what episode that was.
I don't remember a bracket with Patience on it because that's like one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, I don't understand Journey beating Patience.
Yeah, it did.
You know, plus, you know, my first, you know, technical love, teenage love, that was our song. Patience.
Ghost is asking if Skid Row was on this bracket. No, they were on the first bracket.
Hashtag lame bracket.
Yeah. This was all the stuff that was left over from that I couldn't get on the last bracket. So I had a list. I actually compiled 2 lists, and we went through and put some of them on, and then the other one I put aside for a future bracket. So that's what we did tonight. We did the second part of the bracket. On the first bracket, Obnoxious, yeah.
Would never happen if I was on it.
Not this bracket. This bracket, November Rain won. And then November Rain, we actually, I guess you could say, did 2 brackets tonight because we did a winner of the first bracket versus winner of the second bracket. More Than Words was on the second bracket, and it lost to November Rain. In round 1, Ghost. So, yeah, More Than Words was on the bracket, but didn't make it past the first round. But, yeah. Anyway, we did the November Rain versus the winner of the first bracket, which was Don't Stop Believin', and November Rain won. So Guns N' Roses got their revenge. Everybody up to date now on what happened with the 2 ballot brackets? We should, somebody should put together a bracket of insane politicians.
There's too many to list.
House of Pain, I believe, was on the first bracket there, Obnoxious.
Here's one that would be a little sick and twisted that might actually get people's heads scratching. Bracket on dictators through the years.
Best dictator or worst dictator? How would you
Yeah.
go about that?
Well, how do you define best and worst?
Yeah, exactly. That was
Most
my
beloved
point.
dictator.
I don't know how we would do that.
Okay. Maybe next week's bracket, worst dictator as far as I don't know, just sheer violence.
G23 says Hitler, but there were actually people worse than Hitler.
Yeah, Mao.
As scary as it sounds.
Even Stalin, you didn't even have to wait as long as to get Mao. Stalin was like, Hitler, who's that guy? I can kill way more people than that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A
Stalin
lot of
killed
people
more
forget
people.
about Stalin.
Stalin killed more people before World War II than Hitler did during the entire war. So, I mean,
Yeah, Stalin literally just said, "Here, hold my beer. Watch this."
no. Hitler was trying to catch up to Stalin by that point.
Right.
I mean, Stalin had
That was
just
just
killed
stupid.
umpteen million. Yeah, Stalin had killed umpteen million in Ukraine before Hitler even really rose to power in Germany. Before Hitler was the chancellor, so Hitler had some catching up to do.
Stalin looked over at Hitler and said, "Bush leaguer."
Uh-huh. I starved the whole country, and you're just trying to kill a few handful of Jews? Yeah.
Anyway, that was just something stupid. Anyway, so
Yep.
anybody
There's a
have an
little-
idea of next week's bracket?
We don't do a bracket all the time, but that would definitely be one that would have to do some research to find dictators.
What, you do
You know-
research? I don't know.
Yeah, I can. I've actually had to write research papers.
Ozzy Osbourne's got a good suggestion. You need a bracket for the best one-hit wonder rap songs.
No, because Ghost also says that he was a little disappointed that Milli Vanilli didn't win.
Well, we weren't trying to find the best lip syncer, okay?
Remember when
Taylor's-
the two guys that were actually the ones singing for Milli Vanilli tried to start launching their own careers and absolutely flopped?
Well, you got all that extra baggage.
Someone's sending out links now.
Yep. Links are out.
Alrighty. So we're gonna have to start cutting this off, and we will start wrapping this up with ending plugs. How did Stacy end up in the middle when she was at the bottom? Did she drop at some point? I did not notice.
I dropped
You're
earlier.
dropping too, so.
Okay.
dropped
I
one
see myself
earlier.
at the very top. Anyway, so yeah, we'll start with you, Stacy. Got anything you want to plug, or anything you want to say goodbye?
Not much. I mean, just thanks for having me. It's been great. So go watch the closer. Other than that,
Alrighty. Jason, anything to plug or anything you want to say goodbye about?
Just God bless America, and good show. Good time as always. Thanks, Rich.
Yep, no problem. Kingpin, what about you?
Bawoosh.
and that's all he has to say.
Yeah, we'll do a bracket. I know what we can do. Next week we'll do a bracket on rain songs. We'll have "Blame It on the Rain" be in the final against "November Rain." Would that make you happy then, Ghost? Where was I?
I'm sure that'll make Ghost happy.
That anything you want to plug or any words of wisdom to say goodbye by? That would be a BYE
yeah, just-
and a BY.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, just thanks for having me on, and yeah, everybody keep their head on a swivel.
What about you, Giz? Anything you want to plug or any words of wisdom to say goodbye by?
Well,
Again,
words
it'll be
of
like-
wisdom. Always remember to give them the bird.
Yep. Kingpin's out there saying you're just getting us all sick here, Pat. You trying to give us all the coronavirus stuff that's going on here? I mean, it's awful funny. You're the one that comes in and brings up that topic. And now you're sneezing all over everybody?
Yeah, I'm sending you all the coronavirus via the internet right now. It's already
See?
gone through.
See, he would have got away with it too if it wasn't for all us meddling kids.
If you want to see
Yes,
something jacked up,
And their pesky dog, too.
Unknown User just posted a video. Go watch that. And there's film of people in China spitting on like the elevator buttons and rubbing their spit all over the elevator buttons and handles and stuff like that. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, that would be disgusting if there wasn't a virus that could be spread that way. Oh man, Nice Strike. Anything you want to plug, or I would ask you for words of wisdom, but do you have any?
Yes, always keep one in the chamber. There we go.
You stole that from LMB Pro.
Well, he's not here to say it, so I have to say it for him.
Okay, so you're just regurgitating LMB Pro's words. Of this.
No. See, he's
Alright.
modifying it because he's talking about always keep a live stream in the gun chamber, gun tube chamber.
See?
So
There
how,
you go.
how much
Someone
did Night
catch on.
pay you to defend him there, Kingpin?
It's a
That
sliding
one was
scale.
free.
First one's free. So basically
Yeah.
you're a crack dealer.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
boy.
the kind of road this
$10
can go down, Pat. Just so you know. For future reference, Pat, this is the way this show goes.
Okay, I'm quickly.
And on
learning,
that note, I'll see you later.
All right. Well, anyway,
See
with
you
that
later,
said-
man.
on that note, as Matt would say, we will catch you all next week. Everybody out there, stay safe and don't catch the coronavirus. If you do, stop drinking Mexican
you can
beer.
blame me. No, you can blame
Keep it
on
to
me.
yourself.
Or blame Pat. Either way. So, good night, folks, and
All
don't
right.
forget to
Good
watch
night,
the
y'all.
closer. How do I stop this?
Oh,
darn-
whoosh.
Shane, stop this crazy thing. Even though you're badly lost.